I know, right? A toy review from me. It's been a very long time, and it's mostly because I don't collect enough toys to justify doing reviews anymore. I haven't for years. But back in May and June of this year, I went to Kapow Toys. I will link them in the description. They were brilliant. I went to Kapow Toys and saw some pre-orders for some stuff that usually gets to the UK much later than its American release. I had a bit of disposable income at the time. I wanted to buy some new Marvel Legends, so I was like, do you know what? I'm going to pre-order these sets. First thing I ordered, if you look over there, is a Giant Man figure, way back in there. I ordered him back in May, and at the same time I also ordered on a discount Captain Marvel over here with Goose. So yeah, that was an order, but it wasn't going to ship till later in the year. Then in July I pre-ordered this. It's a Build-A-Figure wave of Marvel Legends featuring a Build-A-Figure of Thor. It's based on Endgame, some of the characters from other movies. I'm just going to go one by one. Okay, so first up we have Heimdall. Great likeness with Idris Elba. It's based on Infinity War, though considering his outfit, I'm probably going to display him with my Ragnarok figures toward the back of that shelf. Let's crack him open. Okay, so this is Heimdall. Excellent likeness for Idris Elba. Looks very, very good. Like, that is a really good sculpt. It makes me wonder why we haven't had one before. Obviously because in this his eyes are sort of back to normal. It'd be nice to have an old school Heimdall at some point from the first two movies with his big gold armour and big helmet. Standard articulation as you'd expect. You've got the double joints on the elbows. That seems to be the case for pretty much all the figures we're going to see today. He's in his Ragnarok outfit. However, this cloak, which is nice because you obviously want him to be holding his sword, this cloak does kind of impede the movement somewhat, so... And... voila! You have a more accessible Heimdall that you can pose and do stuff with. It's pretty cool. I'm a fan of that. Glad to see more of the Asgardians getting some love. If only they'd go back and give us a Fandral, Volstagg and a Hogun, that would be amazing. Heimdall comes with Thor's left leg. Well, this is another amazing one. Valkyrie, continuing the Asgardian love. Perfect likeness of Tessa Thompson. That is amazing. The braided hair is brilliant and sort of loose enough that if you wanted to, you could move it around the back, but better draped on the shoulder. She's in the armour that she wears at the end of Thor Ragnarok, and also during the battle at the end of Avengers Endgame. Her cloak is detachable. For some reason, this one has got these weird red paint flecks on the back, which aren't picking up on the camera too well, but I'm hoping it's not wounds from battle, because that would ruin this perfectly white armour. Valkyrie has the wedged feet, the wedged shoes of a lot of the female figures, like Black Widow from the MCU line, which makes it tough to have a balance and stay stood up, but that's what tiny little figure stands you can buy are for. Valkyrie comes with Thor's right leg, and also her blue blade. I'll get that to focus. And a hilt, which... well, hey, smashing. Another character who's been quite tough to get hold of in recent years is Vision. This version is based on Civil War, and he is made of a translucent plastic, apart from at the neck. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Nice. It's like based on when he phases. The downside to this, unfortunately, is that this kind of plastic is very brittle. You have to be so careful with it. Getting him out of the box, for example, the cape was wedged in there quite well in the plastic, so to get him out, I had to pop his head off, and it made a very questionable crackling sound as I did. Now, it seems to be alright, but it would be a shame to have this figure deteriorate super quick, considering the sculpt of Paul Bettany is really, really good. And it's a really good figure, and I can't wait to add him with my my bunch of Civil War characters over there. Vision comes with Thor's torso and crotch area, yes, which is going to be handy for giving Thor a body. And also, Stormbreaker, which, compared to the version that was released with the Thor figure from Infinity War, is actually lighter and has a slimmer handle. Not quite sure which one I prefer yet, but we'll see. Released as a figure based on Avengers Endgame, this is a Cap from Cap 2012, of course, from Avengers, the first film. This is probably the most disappointing figure of the wave. Very stiff joints. Notice the crotch joints, you've got the ball socket thing, which the Marvel Legends have moved past in recent years. Like you see in Vision here, it's two single pieces and it's very easy to maneuver them. Whereas this guy, you have to pre-plan all of the poses and movements and be very careful. He's really stiff. It's because this is essentially a re-release of a 2012-2013 Marvel Legends figure based on the first Avengers, albeit with some slightly better paint apps. The head is still quite disappointing. They never quite get the paint right when it comes to 2012 Captain America's head, because this head was also recently reused. Focus on Cap, damn it! This head was also recently reused on the time travel suit based one from the first wave of Endgame related Marvel Legends figures, and as with that one, the paint app on the chin is awful. However, you know, if you didn't get the figure the first time round, which I didn't, it's nice to add it to your 2012 Avengers figures. He, of course, comes with his mighty shield, which when he throws, all who do not kneel must yield. And Captain America comes with Thor's right arm. This is his Bloody Mary arm. This was the figure I was most excited for getting originally. It's Iron Man's Mark LXXXV armor. Lord knows what number he's up to at the minute. I'm terrible with my Roman numerals. Unless there's been a Red Dwarf series on it, I don't know the number. But this was the one I was most looking forward to originally because, get him in the light, this is my favourite armor design from all of the movies because it's the one that is the closest to the comic book look, with the arms and the full legs in yellow and whatnot. It's essentially a repaint with a few tweaks to the detailing from the Infinity War armor. And he comes with accessories galore as well, including a couple spare hands. You can switch out between blaster hands or fists. Got him displayed there with one of each. He comes with 4 of his, what do you call it? What are they called now? Not pulsar, but I can't bloody remember now. It'll come to me. Someone write in the comments, what's the name of Iron Man's bloody beams again? But it comes with 4 of them, so you can have 2 on the feet if you are displaying him hovering, and 2 on the hands. He also comes with Thor's left arm, and, as is appropriate for that portion of the story, a swappable hand for Thor, featuring the dial that they all wear for the time heist. So that's pretty good. And he comes with an extra accessory. If you were lucky enough to get the Build-A-Figure Hulk based on Endgame in the last wave of figures, I wasn't. I did get 2 figures from that wave. I got Shuri, who's back there, and I got Rescue, who's up on the shelf above. But I don't tend to collect the waves, the Build-A-Figure waves, unless all of the figures in that wave are Marvel Legends characters based on the MCU. I only really get comic book Marvel Legends if it's a character I really love and I want a figure of. But if you were lucky enough to get the Hulk, Iron Man comes with an accessory for Hulk. It's the second Infinity Gauntlet, the Iron Gauntlet from Endgame. It comes as 2 pieces, a wrist brace and a separate hand. So if you get your Hulk, snap his wrist off, put this on, you have the Iron Gauntlet for your Hulk. Pretty cool. This was the figure I was looking forward to the most in this wave, but I think now that I've got them in hand, I think Valkyrie might be the better one. Anyway, there's one more left to look at. The Iron Patriot armor. This is from the 3rd act of Endgame. This is what Rhodey's wearing during that last fight. This is a re-release, technically, because in the last wave they released as you can see from the box art, they released a grey version of him based on the War Machine colours. But when you watch Endgame, and I paid attention to it on my first watch on home video after seeing that this figure was coming out, this is what he's actually wearing. He's wearing a new version of the Iron Patriot armour in the finale, not the War Machine armour. This figure is heavy. I think this might be one of the heavier Marvel Legends in the 6-7 inch scale, not of the bigger size. He's going to get heavier because he has attachments that I need to put on him yet for various guns, so that's going to get interesting. Got holes on his back for all those things to fit into. Oh, I think they might be interchangeable, actually. Oh, it's even cooler. Standard articulation, but obviously you have to be a little careful because he's got all these extra wiffles and waffles attached to him, so you don't want to overextend them and ruin them. It is a massive shame that they didn't release him, considering their sculpts are getting better for likenesses. They didn't release him with a Don Cheadle head, so you could have Rhodey poking his head out of the armour. But it's okay, he did come with 2 other heads. He came with Bro Thor. There he is. Probably the best likeness of Hemsworth yet. The Marvel Legends tend to get Hemsworth likeness wrong more often than not. And an alternate Bro Thor head, or as I like to call it, Lebowski Thor, if it'll focus. Come on, focus, you turd. There he is. Lebowski Thor. So, without further ado, let's put our Asgardian together. Well, there's the wave as is. How do I judge it? Some dodgy choices. Heimdall's cloak, but you can take it off when you pop his head off, so you can pose him. Which means you can have him actually holding a sword. Vision's plastic being brittle is a dodgy one. Cap and Iron Man have the old school ankle joints where like the pin is toward the front of the foot, so if it's too stiff you could snap the foot right off if you're not careful, so that's never fun. Best figure of the wave, I thought it was going to be Iron Man, is Valkyrie. Had to give her a stand though, like I said, the wedged feet make it hard for her to balance, so giving her a stand is recommended, but Valkyrie's definitely the best figure in the wave. Worst figure in the wave, it's the repainted old school Cap. It's not his fault that they chose to just repaint an older model with the outdated joints, and also because of the paint, it's really stiff. He's still got America's ass, but just doesn't quite work. So what I'm probably going to do with this, guys, I'm probably going to give him a bit of tough love with some hot water and make the joints a little bit malleable, and swap his head with the spare head I have from the Peggy and Steve First Avenger set, just to sort of spice him up a bit. Now, final edition, of course, man of the hour, Bro Thor, Lebowski Thor. I've given him the Time Heist wrist device, and I've got him holding Stormbreaker. I've gone for the sunglasses head, although, like I already said, the other head is brilliant. I had a look at the sunglasses head up close. They're the exact same piece. They've just stuck sunglasses on the other one, so that's nice. Like if you get at certain angles, you can still see his eyes, and so that's quite nice. Probably use this one as probably put this one toward a custom version of the finale of Endgame. Thor, maybe. This is a great figure. Obviously, he's not the most action-packed figure of the wave. You're not going to be putting him in big scenarios where he's fighting anybody, especially not from the simple fact that he's wearing Crocs. They will obviously slip off in a big battle with Thanos. But yeah, Bro Thor, great Build-A-Figure. It's always really fun to get a Build-A-Figure that's in the normal scale of everyone else, because that's quite rare. There was usually something bigger, like the big Hulk back there. So it's quite cool that Bro Thor is amongst the wave. All in all, don't want to overshadow Valkyrie. All in all, pretty fun wave of figures. I wish we'd get some more villains. It'd be great to get some more villains from the MCU stuff, even if it's just like a couple of Outriders, but for a wave of heroes based on Endgame, Infinity War, and Civil War, I can't complain. I'm really happy I got them. If you want to buy toys similar to these guys for a pretty good price with decent shipping, especially if you're into the stuff that you see advertised on Instagram and whatnot coming from America, that usually arrives in the UK much later and at an inflated price. If you want to get in there with a pre-order early instead and save yourself some pounds, Kapow Toys, link will be in the description. If there's any toys that you really want me to review, and that I don't have, you can ask me if I have them in the description. But if there's any toys you really want me to review, you can help fund that. I will link my Ko-fi in the description as well. You basically just chuck in some shekels and it can help toward paying for stuff. I'd appreciate it massively. Thanks again for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Ta-da!